Hi guys, on our forum or Discord or Telegram or any way you like, you can always give us suggestions about apps. Erik, could you put this one in the repository? And if it's a good one, right, we test it first. If it's really a good one, we could consider adding it. What's the difference? Here you need to build packages. So we're on ArchWiki, ArcoLinux user repository, sorry, on AUR, which means you get a recipe and the recipe builds your package. So there are like 50,000 plus packages in there, and each year, right, I don't know, 5,000 or so, that's 10%, will be added, always new stuff. So if you find something that you say, oh, I like this, right, you tell us, we'll test it out, and we're gonna talk about GPU screen recorder Git. That's now on the repo. I am recording with Simple Screen Recorder, so basically it's an alternative. Simple Screen Recorder has a GUI, GPU Screen Recorder is in a terminal. So that's the difference. So if you say sudo pacman -s GPU Screen Recorder Git, you'll have it. Okay, that's that. When you install it, then you have this application, this one, GPU Screen Recorder. Just press enter. And yes, this is Linux. So you read, right? This is terminal. There's no GUI, there's no buttons, so you need to read. What I did was copy paste one of these lines first, right? And say, okay, what does this thing do? And have a look, what does this already, is it worth my time? That's the first thing. Anybody probably does. If you're a user, you say, somebody gives you a hint, that's a good application, you try to use it, right? Now, this is, yeah, getting a little bit technical in the sense you're in the terminal, right? There are no buttons or anything or sliders. So you just copy paste this thing and have a look. In the meantime, I'm a bit further down in the learning process. And what I've done is basically reading. So GPU screen recorder, that's the text we get. And actually it's quite nicely organized in the sense that we have here. The first one is the W, window ID to record, display, window name, screen recorder the W, sorry. So let's keep that one open so we can always read, and Control T next to it, GPU screen recorder, enter, right? And then I typed -W, and then we get here value, missing value, argument -W, there's a monitor ID, there's a monitor, there's focused, and there's portal. So gradually I started building it up. What did I do? I think monitor, I tested. So I said, okay, a render is here to tell me what monitor I have. Whoops, sorry, not a render, X render is easier now. So HDMI 0. So I said, okay, probably gonna be W and then HDMI 0, enter. And then it says missing argument -F. So I keep reading and I say -F is the frame rate to record. But I already had my examples, frame rate 60, right? Frame rate 60. If you do screen, which I did first, I have a dual screen, so I get a video of my two screens, which is unreadable on YouTube, right? So screen was the first thing I did, and then said, okay, that's nice, it works. And the quality was good, etc. No sound yet, and gradually I added more and more of these parameters. So that's one thing, and we're missing the -F. F is here, the frame rate to record that, so 60 frames per second, enter. Still problems, right? And then it says missing argument, sorry. Ah yeah, I'm reading wrong. So -C is required when not using, right? -C is required when not using -O as a container format. But I'm gonna say where he's gonna need to put it. So O, go put it in home Erik videos test.mp4. So I'm telling him the container that way. So read a little bit up how videos are made. That's the container. You have a video codec and you have an audio codec, right? So this is where the container basically where everything goes in the basket or something. You put everything in, the audio codec, the video codec, and that's your container. Okay, enter I suppose, and there it was. Suddenly I had something. Okay, how do I stop something? Didn't know that, but somewhere down here, notes, send signal, Control C or kill all, etc. to stop and save the recording. So then I knew, okay, Control C. Okay, Super Shift Enter. Let's go to videos. That's where I've saved it. Now remember, you are gonna overwrite each time. So I'm recording this video with that simple screen recorder thing, and here is test MP4. You decide with which application you open it. I open it with VLC, and I analyze. Right, I look at the codec information. So we have one thing, video codec, and it's gonna be in H.264, which is what I want, and resolution, etc. Frame rate 60, check, right? But I'm missing sound. Video without sound, if you want to make teaching and education video, right? So I need to keep looking. So let's go up like this, and then I need to find something about sound. And like I said, it was really nicely organized. So from the top, the container, the size, the area, didn't do that. I just want HDMI and the left screen. One, frame rate done. A, audio device to record at. Okay, so audio device minus A. And then enter, right? And then it says, yeah, you need to tell them what kind of argument. Minus A, missing value for argument. How did I do that again? I got a long list of possibilities. I believe I read here somewhere. Let's make this bigger. The A default output, and I put in default input. I said, oh, that's simple, right? Default input, so I'll just tell him use the default, was it underscore or yeah, underscore default input, and it was working. Whoa, so that's not what happened with me. I guess I might have done something different then. Whoa, Control C. Okay, maybe I've done this. Yeah, I've done that, which gave me a long list of all the tools, all the settings I can use. Default output, default input. So from now on, I know this will work. But in my exercise before this video, I looked at my system, this one, right? This is the thing I need. This is a microphone that hangs in front of me, and voila. Control Shift C, you copy that. And then instead of default input, so I probably made a typo there, Control Shift V. And then he gets it as well. So now I'm recording with, well, input with the microphone recording everything. So Control C. Let's see. You go in here, you do your test, and something. Recording with, well, input with the microphone recording everything. So Control C. Voila. So that's working as well. And I kept reading. I think I still did one thing more. So if we go down the list, we have now the frame rate, the audio device, the video quality. Put it on ultra, minus Q, ultra. Don't know if it's good or not. I think, why not, right? Just try it out. Minus Q, ultra. What else? Go down, replay buffer size in seconds. No, minus Q. That's the video codec. If you don't set anything, I think it's gonna take H.264. In the last 10 to 15 years, in simple screen recorder, I've always used H.264 and AAC as audio codec. So he's going to default to this one, meaning I don't need to tell him minus K H.264. If you need to choose something else, you need to tell it. And AC should be either AAC, Opus. By default it was Opus, I think. Voila, if you use that. Otherwise set to AAC. So I'd like to have the same settings as on my simple screen recorder that I've been using the last 15 to 20 years. So I need AC, AAC. Okay, so in here, AC, AAC. So I'm telling him how to record it. Basically, if we just keep it working a little bit, and now we have a longer video, we can look at the codec later. Then I stopped actually. Audio bitrate in kilobytes, overclock memory, frame rate mode, bitrate mode, color range, organize, replace, run a script on the saved file. Why would I do that? I don't know. Record cursor, optional, set to yes by default. So that's good for me. Should record a cursor. Keyframe interval in seconds, restores. All the rest I've never looked at, and I'm reading it together with you. Encoder, which device should be used for video encoding, should either be GPU or CPU. Best currently on minus Q. GPU by default, so I have an NVIDIA card. Which one do I have? FF. So I have a near video RTX 2060, so I suppose he's doing all the work, all the lifting, as they say. In the meantime, the video is long enough to just show you the audio and video codecs.
Basically, if we just keep it working a little bit.
H.264, MP4, AAC.
Then I stopped actually.
And then I say, okay, cool, right? It's done. It's doing what it needs to do. And yeah, I think we're at the end of the video, because if we scroll through, there's some help and prints per second, frames update, it is by default. Output file path, we've done that. Version, sure. Here's something maybe that's interesting. List audio devices. But when I made a typo, I got everything, so that's how I found it out. And voila, info encoder. Right, we've seen everything. So maybe something for you to try. Maybe let's stop, delete this one, and then go up, and then Control Shift plus. No, like this. All right. Freeze the frame, freeze the video. This is what I have. Telling him where to get the video. W, HDMI, left monitor, frame 60, output to a certain file. So remember, you will overwrite each video again and again and again. Audio should be default input, probably easier. Then of course you have to tell him in this one, input devices, this is the default, right? You have to tell him Rode NT USB in my case. That's the default, and he's gonna use the default input then, right? And for the rest, voila, Ultra AC. Try it out. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you don't use it. It's simple, it's free, and it seems to work. So one of the other videos, the next videos, will try it out. Cheers.